What's up, you guys? It's Susan Morad right back here with Clever News. And Euphoria star Storm Reid is reflecting back on her casting in 2018's A Wrinkle in Time that was harshly criticised, how she's turning the incident into a positive experience, and sharing inside deets about her friendship with Zendaya. Storm Reid is taking Hollywood by, well, storm, no pun intended, as she's been tacking on some highly coveted movie and television roles at the young age of 17. She's more recently recognised for taking on the role of Zendaya's little sister Gia in HBO's Euphoria, the Netflix miniseries When They See Us, and she has starred in films like The Invisible Man and 2018's A Wrinkle in Time. When looking back on her roles and even roles she hopes to take on in the future, Storm's goal is to take on more progressive roles, which is why she recognises how people felt uncomfortable after she was cast for A Wrinkle in Time 3 years ago. For those of you who aren't aware, Storm was cast for the role of Meg in the 2018 film adaptation of the 1962 book, but the casting choice was met with massive amounts of backlash due to her race. Storm spoke with InStyle Thursday and revealed, quote, "Some people had problems with me playing Meg because they'd loved her as a Caucasian girl for so long. After reflecting on the situation, Storm realized that this criticism was necessary, adding, they were uncomfortable to have that shift, but the only way to create change in our world is through people willing to be uncomfortable." In fact, this all circles back to Storm's decision in proactively choosing these progressive roles that spark conversation about society and the underrepresentation of people of color. She spoke more about her roles, adding, quote, "I see each one as an opportunity to have a progressive conversation and represent people and situations that are underrepresented. Young girls deserve to see themselves on screen. Because how can you feel like you're able to succeed when you don't see yourself succeeding?" Blocking out the criticism surrounding the casting decision has caused many young women of color to look up to Storm, as she recalled, quote, "When the film came out, little girls would come up to me and say, 'Thank you for allowing me to see a girl who looks like me save the world.' That's when I realized my career was bigger than myself." The film's executive director Rashad Robinson even spoke about the impact of casting people of color, saying, quote, "By casting a black teenage actress, the filmmakers and the studio send a powerful message to millions of young people who will see someone like them embracing their individuality and strength to save the world." Many underprivileged children were even able to see the film in theaters for free through the Give a Child the Universe initiative. Storm now has the courage and confidence to take on much bigger roles, as she credits the late Chadwick Boseman as her inspiration. She said, "He dedicated his life to being part of projects that benefited us as a black culture. And that's what I want to try to do." Adding, "I'm really happy to be a young black woman in the space I'm in, to be accepted, to be loved, and for people to appreciate my work. And I want to create opportunities for people who haven't been given them yet." Storm also spoke highly about her on-screen sister Zendaya, who plays Rue in HBO's Euphoria, and how she looks up to her as a role model. She said, "I've been a fangirl of hers since the beginning of time, and now she's like my bonus big sister. She's so genuine, and whether I need advice about growing up in Hollywood, as they say, or just advice as a teenage girl trying to figure out life, she's always a phone call away." Speaking of growing up, Storm also shared that aside from acting, she wants to experience a normal teenage life, saying, "I need to figure out what to do with this chapter of my life. I want to attend college, but with the full experience of being on campus. So I'm just waiting to see what the world is going to look like in the coming months." Pretty sure we can all agree that for this unstoppable Storm, the sky's the limit. For more on the stars of Euphoria, you can click right over here to watch another clever video. Then be sure to let me know all of your thoughts on Storm Reid's thoughts on A Wrinkle in Time's casting down here in the comments section below. I'm your host, Susan Morad. I'll catch you later. Bye, guys.